Well, hello and welcome to this LinkedIn Live session. My name is Scott Hayes, Senior Portfolio Marketing Director at Rimini Street. And joining me today is my colleague, Luiz Mariotto, who's the GVP and Principal Product Manager for our SAP Solutions here at Rimini Street. Luiz, it's great to have you. We are going to dive right into what this series is about. Just a reminder, this is a three-part series about SAP and what your roadmap is and what it could be. And it started with our first one was tackling customer concerns about SAP and cloud migration. The second one, this is today, why you should defer migration to S4HANA and RISE. And then we'll close out with our follow-up session on a better alternative to RISE with SAP. But let's get right into today's content, why you should defer. I'm going to give you 3 reasons, and then Luiz is going to go into some detail about them. So number one, you need to know that SAP announced some key product roadmap changes and some policy changes that has introduced some uncertainty into what clients are planning to do with S4HANA and those migrations. Number 2, the RISE with SAP program is based on some lock-in contracts that combine multiple things, and we believe that that's going to restrict flexibility and future options. That's just a caution. We'll get into some details on that one. And then number 3, as of the end of last quarter, there were still 2/3 of SAP ECC clients who had not yet licensed or purchased S4HANA licenses. And we believe that that could be due to some of the analysis that's happening, in number 1 and number 2, that's saying, wait a minute, there might be some risks and some uncertain ROI associated with that. So those are the 3 things we're going to let Luiz get into. And Luiz, I'm going to turn it over to you. Let's start with number 1.
Yes, so thank you, Scott. Well, let's start with the number 1 reason, right?
Right, true.
Well, the SAP recently announced, right, a big change in the roadmap for the S4HANA product. We have the ECC, which half of the SAP clients are running ECC today. The other half are already running S4HANA, but most of these clients are running S4HANA on-prem, right? Which is the product they launched in 2015 and has annual releases. And SAP promises to support this version until 2040, right? If the client keeps upgrading according to the release strategies. But now SAP has this other product, which is the S4HANA Cloud, the SaaS, the public cloud edition, which is a complete different code set, right? It's a different model, it's a subscription, and SAP releases like quarterly changes on that product. So what happens now with the RISE, right? Under RISE, SAP is offering the S4HANA Private Cloud Edition, which is pretty much the same product as the S4HANA on-prem, but technically operated and managed by SAP in their cloud, and is also offered as a subscription contract. But now SAP is saying that they will not update, or the future innovations only be available on this S4HANA Cloud Edition, right? But what happens with all the other clients that are running S4HANA on-prem, which is 80% of the S4HANA installed base? So that is a big dilemma for most of the clients. If SAP from now on, they will start changing this strategy, it means they will have 3 products now. You have the S4HANA on-prem, the S4HANA Cloud Private Edition, and they will have the S4HANA Cloud Public Edition. So it's a big question how SAP can manage that in the future. And most of the clients that are moving to this S4HANA Private Edition, they are bringing the customization. So how they will be adopting, right, the innovations, right? They will need to do upgrades to do that. So it's a big change. It's not very clear yet for most of these clients. As you can see here, right, we have a strong reaction, right, from the user group. DISAG is a user group, the most important user group in Europe. So they are now being vocal about this change, right? You can see here some of their statements, right? So they are recommending clients to carefully reconsider possible planners for HANA, because now they need to take in consideration all these changes. So, and for the client that has already invested on S4HANA, some of them are already live, so they invested millions in customizations on those deployments, right? what's going to happen with them if SAP will keep releasing S/4HANA on-prem annual release or biannual release, but they will not receive the same functionalities as the S/4HANA Private Edition? Well, we know that SAP is trying to, forcing the clients to move to the cloud, but this is not good for all clients. Not all clients are ready to go in this path that SAP is proposing right now. So it's a big change, right? You need to be careful. You need to have a clear consideration about your options and what you need to do next.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So I'm sorry. So number 2, this one about locking contracts. What does that mean? Restricting flexibility.
Well, that's another big change, right? Because when you are planning, let's say you are planning to move to S/4HANA on-prem, you still own your license, right? So you can choose if you want to deploy on-prem in your data center, or as many clients are doing, right, leveraging your system on any hyperscale provider like Google, AWS, and Microsoft. But now with RISE, so SAP is changing, right, the contract structure. It means that if you move it to S/4HANA on RISE, so you need to cancel all your perpetual license. So, and you are kind of losing control of all items in your TCO, right? Because you have license and the infrastructure, the hardware, and the services, most of the services in the single SAP contract, single SAP paper. Even though you can choose to run on AWS, Microsoft, or Google, you will still sign an SAP paper, right? And we know, right, how it works. Once you move that, it is very difficult to exit. In fact, there is no way to get out of that once you embark in that journey. So bundling all in a single contract, right? So you can see here in the link, this is very interesting article from Gartner. What they are saying here is basically, so you are shifting the budget control, right, to SAP. So if they run all these 3 licensing, infrastructure, and services in the same contract, so basically they are in charge of the cost from now on. So it's another big consideration you need to think about before you sign any upfront license conversion. Absolutely, and we'll provide that link to you so that you can go read that article for yourself. Let's move on to number 3, Luis. It's about, hey, look, 2/3 are holding back. Could be due to risk. I really want to focus on this idea of risk. What do you have there? Well, this is also based, right, in a Gartner report about the ERP and S/4HANA adoption. You can see here, right, 2/3 of ECC clients, they have not purchased any S/4HANA yet. The reason is mainly because they don't see, right, the ROI, the business case, or they see risk on moving, right, to this new product, because for most of the clients, it will require a re-implementation, right? SAP is also offering these different strategies, brownfield, greenfield, there are bluefield. But anyway, you need to do a project, right? And for some clients, it means a big project, a big transformation, right? The risk of moving in that direction, if you don't have a clear business case, is too high. And also you have this, let's say, hush, right? Because SAP has this end of support date by 2027 or even 2025, depending on your version. So a lot of clients, you can expect, are doing the project right now. So the cost of the is being very high. So if you don't have a real, right, reason to move, you should wait, right? That's the recommendation. That is a lot of clients are doing, right? If you don't have a clear strategy yet on your next step, considering all these changes in the roadmap, you should wait, right? And buy some time and see what's going on in the future when we have more clarity on all those questions, right? About the roadmap, about the product version, about the contract, right? So right. Thanks. We said that, as you say, if you don't have a clear strategy and roadmap, and that has to account for mitigating the risks and a positive ROI. And before you even, think about doing this, those need to be in place. So let me talk about what the alternative is. Rimini Street has quite a large number of SAP clients who have taken a bit of a different roadmap. They're no longer marching
to SAP's drumbeat, right? They've taken full control of their roadmap and their strategy. And those end of support dates that you talked about for ECC clients, depending on the release, 2025 or 2027, those are irrelevant to Rimini Street clients who can enjoy support on their existing version for 15 years. That's part of our guarantee. And then secondly, even while you're there, we can help you optimize and modernize around your SAP ECC that's probably stable and performing until such time as you have a risk mitigated positive ROI plan to move to S/4HANA Cloud. And then finally, during that time, you can save a bundle of money, but also get more comprehensive support, including customization support at no extra cost. And so these are some of the differentiators. In our next session, we're going to provide some more information about the benefits that our SAP clients enjoy from taking that business-driven roadmap alternative as opposed to the vendor-driven roadmap. So thanks for joining us today. We hope you will join us for our next session. And you can go ahead and register for that now. If you go to the Rimini Street page on LinkedIn, scroll down to the events section, you'll be able to click the link to register for the next session. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you, Luis.
Thank you.